Has hype begun to ruin anime and manga? Hype by definition is the extravagant or intensive publicity or promotion of a certain thing. And obviously for what we're talking about in this video, that thing is anime and manga. And in recent times, now that anime has become quite mainstream, there has been a huge flood of fans who get behind a specific anime and try to push this anime in front of everyone's faces. And because of this, some people are starting to question whether hype is ruining the anime genre, and if anime becoming so mainstream is really a good thing. So in today's video, I'm going to do my best to try and break down my thoughts on this topic. Now, anime becoming mainstream has been a bit of a double-edged sword. We have, on the bright side, a lot more people enjoying the medium, whereas on the flip side, we have a lot more toxic fan bases who put other anime down to further prove that their anime is the best or is peak fiction, as people say. And I feel like this is becoming a little bit too toxic and is honestly just ruining the anime experience for anyone who's pretty much on social media or is around the anime community. Now, there's nothing wrong with enjoying an anime, and there's nothing wrong with being excited and wanting to share that love or passion for that anime with other people. But when you try and start to make people feel bad for not enjoying the anime in the same way you did, or not being caught up with a certain anime or series that everyone's currently hyping up, that is when I think we need to start drawing the line. Everyone should be allowed to enjoy and watch anime at their own pace, in their own way, without somebody else forming a preconceived bias in your mind. And these toxic fan bases are pretty much what ruin the hype of every series, because when a series is hyped up so much to the point where people are saying it's potentially better than some previous animes you watched that you thought were really good, you automatically go in with these super high expectations, as well as the fact that you go in with a mentality that this guy is saying this is better than the best anime I've watched right now, which causes you to go in with a skeptical mentality, which causes you to go in maybe looking for flaws in the anime or manga you're reading. Now, to play devil's advocate here, you can argue that this is all the person's fault for letting the hype get to them, and that the real problem is people taking other people's hype and bias or positive opinions on something and using them in place for their own preconceived bias. You can say it's all just expectation management, but though this is true, is this truly something that people are in control of? People need to understand that a lot of these expectations that people have due to all the hype aren't consciously made or aren't intentionally made. For example, when everyone around you is saying the food is good and you're the only person who hasn't tried the food yet, before you try the food, your mind is automatically gonna go into thinking this food is going to be good. And the same thing applies for anime. Though you can make an argument that, hey, it's the person's fault for letting the hype get to them, most of set expectations happen unintentionally. Expectations require managing to ensure that all the people involved hold the same expectations and that these expectations are realistic and intentional. The key to managing expectations is to set them intentionally, and when these aren't set intentionally, that is the problem. Take it like this: we have two people, one seen the anime, the other hasn't, and they both have blank canvases in front of them. The person who's seen the anime is drawing a painting of his experience with the anime or what to expect, how the anime should look. And when the person who hasn't drawn his canvas yet, who hasn't experienced the anime yet, is being told, this is what your painting should look like by the time it's done. Or even if the other person doesn't tell him this is what their painting should look like, subconsciously, as soon as he starts working on his painting or starting the anime for himself, he will always have the other painting in his mind, because that is the only reference point he has for that image or for that anime. And this pretty much perfectly describes what hype is doing to people who haven't experienced said anime. But then you can argue, hey, why doesn't the person just look for multiple opinions, do some research on the anime before giving it a try? Though that is a fair point, let's be real here. Most casual anime watchers heard about the anime from their friend in real life or from an acquaintance they know. They're not gonna bother looking around the internet to look for different reviews on the anime. That's not something that is commonly done. And this can also have a negative effect on the person, because as they're looking through all these different reviews, they're actually subconsciously collecting all these different opinions, which might just make it even worse when they start the anime. But hey, I guess it could be a solution to this problem, if taking each opinion with a grain of salt. Now, can this be changed? Can there be a world where there is a balance between expectation management and overall hype? Can there be a place where people can go into anime like Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, or Bleach, completely blind with zero expectations or preconceived notions? And my answer to that is if you use the internet or you are on social media, that is impossible. There will never be a world where people aren't constantly setting expectations or where people are not hyping up anime, but can there be a world where it's a little less toxic, where we can at least enjoy an anime without maybe putting another anime down or over exaggerating the anime's quality? And I know a lot of this is subjective, but I feel like a good first step a lot of the anime community can take is honestly just toning it down a little bit when it comes to their excitement or hype or agenda for their anime. Instead of posting a daily tweet on why your anime is peak or on why another anime is worse than your anime, you can just post a little tweet here and there on why your anime is good and what you like about it without being super toxic or constantly putting it out there. Now, I'm not trying to control anyone. Anyone can do whatever they want. I'm not telling anyone what to do. But I myself have definitely learned a lot from these recent times, and I'm definitely going to be doing my best to make sure I'm not overhyping anime or ruining experience for others. But for the question of is hype ruining anime and manga? And my answer to that is yes, it can ruin anime and manga.